Imagine there's like 20 people in here.
Like, oh, hi. What is
I'm
that?
really not over this room because I didn't watch last season, so I had no idea this is what it looked like.
Yeah, honestly, like, even though I did watch, I didn't remember all this. And I'm shook. Shook.
Period. No, my question is, what do you think that I should do? My confidant. Like, who do you think that I should try to, like, weasel my way in with?
I honestly think.
Because I'm like, I think obviously, like, our interests should align.
Okay.
Do
So
you know what I mean? So it's like, who do you want? And then I'll, like,
I feel
weasel.
the exact same way because obviously, like.
She's coming. You're not. Anyways.
You're like. I always connected with Julie, but like with you, I'm like.
It was different.
It was different.
Very different. And that's how I felt too. And I like didn't want to be the one to say it.
I felt an understanding with you, and I felt like a very like.
Like, very showy.
Yes.
And this, I was like, no, this is literally.
Julie was someone that, although I had so much like love, I'm like, I don't know how far I can go in a game.
And that was my thing too, is I was like, I don't know.
It scared me. And I didn't know how to bring it up to you because I thought like, oh, maybe they do have final two because we're on the same team.
No.
And I was like, I don't know. You know, I'm like, I don't know how to bring this up because I did want to raise it with you.
Of course. Me. It's because like, you know, like in the beginning, you're like, I don't know if I should be like oversharing.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel. Sent into the bathroom, like, am I talking too much?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I just feel like we've always just been on the same wavelength. So that's why I did talk to Latoya because I'm like, I feel like that's the only person who might not like me. So maybe I should make her like me. And I know that she's in with like Tina and Tara and like the boys. And I'm like, I feel like it's a good thing. So I want to see who comes to me because I know Kiefer's acting awkward.
Yeah, because he's like, listen, when we were sitting there, it was like me, Beth, Tina, and Tara. And he was like, listen, he's like, she's not going to put Latoya up because she gave her word. He's like, she's not going to put Breydon up. She's not going to put Jed up. And I doubt she's going to put Ro. So who does that leave?
That's true.
And he's like, it's fine, whatever. I'll just get it out of the way. And like, I'm pumped for it. It's fine.
I kind of hope he goes home.
Honestly, same.
And
then I'm like, but this is my thing with Josh. I'm like, how long he's going to stay?
That's the thing. But I feel like with Josh, I can have the conversation with him where I go like, I'm putting you up because that's kind of like how this week went, but I want you to stay. Like you are a pawn.
And that's what I was talking about with Beth. Because I was like, regardless, I think like, you're fine. Like it's a good week to be HOH for you. Because you're like, oh, like everyone wants Josh to go, so I can put him up. And then you can just use like, oh, Kiefer, like I just had to be up as a pawn this week. You're not my target.
And I was thinking too, with this week, because I was actually nervous. I'm like, am I going to be the first HOH? Like, it actually.
And I have to like draw a line and like.
It did scare me, but I'm like, I have my team who like needs to back me.
That's what I'm saying.
I have you. I have Jed. And now I have.
Like, are you and Jed really, really close? Would you say?
I would say we're really close.
Like, is that who I should start working on my team? Because like, honestly, when like, I don't really know like who I'm really, really close with on my team. I know Ro, like.
It's high-key shit.
Yeah, I keep thinking about it. When they were literally all dropped, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, how is the fat gay kid still up here? And literally the muscle jock in the back can't even hold up a fucking bow and arrow. I was like, give me a fucking break.
Yeah. Well, I feel like looking at the season, I'm thinking like kind of the pattern will be, I think we'll get far. I think Jed and Tyra will go pretty far.
I think so too. I feel like they might get back for it though. I think that's the only way to get them out. You know what I mean? And like, I was literally thinking about last time I was laying in bed. I was like, I really think that like, if it was me and Austin in like the final two, like it literally could go either way.
Literally.
And I would be fine. Like honestly, like I'd be fine. Like it was very much like that Victoria moment where she's like, honestly, if I went fourth, like I'd be happy. Like literally, if I lost you, I'd be like, no, like she deserved that.
Yeah. No, I know.
Like that's my bestie. Like.
Okay. Remember when you asked me, you're like, who do you think will make it far? And I'm like, me and you. You're like,
that was the first.
And you're like, not Julie.
No, okay, no, but actually me, I was like, I don't think. And like Julie was very. The one thing I didn't like about Julie is that she like kept always being like, oh, like, you're friends with everyone. Like, just kept saying it out loud. Oh, you're friends with everyone. Like, you're such a good social game. And I was like, girl, shut the fuck up.
Very this.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm very like, you know what my fear was? I thought you two were really close, and I thought that I was gonna get
The
flipped
third
on.
one. Oh, no. I thought the same thing was with me.
Stop.
I was like, they're gonna flip on me and it's gonna be so humiliating. That's why I was always like, you need to tell me if I'm going home, because I was like, I can't. Like,
I
I
know.
genuinely can't.
No, I know. Well, that's the first thing I said when I heard. I'm like, I need to talk to Breydon. I'm like, I need to tell him. And they're like, are you sure that he's gonna be okay? I'm like, yes. I'm like, I need to talk
See,
to
and
him
I
now.
thought you and Julie were a lot closer. And like, so when I was talking to the boys, like when they were like talking about it, like they were like, honestly, like I'm really thinking about it. And Ty was like, she's the one who like spread the rumor about us having a Final Four alliance, and like I don't really trust her ever since then. And then of course I opened my fucking mouth and I was like, oh, it's not her. Like it was Kiefer and Tina, which is true. And he's like, yeah, but like I don't know. Also, not her saying that we were all in an alliance together. I was like, not exposing.
I know. I was a little shook.
I was like, what? Yeah, so what do you think? Like, do you think I should work on Jed? Because honestly, I haven't really talking with much with Jed. And today, Ro came up to me. And he was like, oh, like, you're someone that, like, I would really, like, want to work with. Like, when I saw you walking in the door, like, you were definitely someone, like, I want to work with. So, like, do you think, like, we bring him in? Like, I don't...
I was gonna talk to Ro. Like, if I was able to bring someone to Wendy's, I was thinking maybe Ro. Only
It
because,
seems like he could be loyal.
and I haven't spoken to him, and I feel like he's like, I don't know. All he does is like we just like have like a fun like
Yeah, like...
thing. But my fear with Ro is that if he's in with the boys, he flips on us.
Yeah.
You know, like he's one to go for it because like Jed and Ty or something don't want to.
What he told me, he was like, oh, like, when I was, like, filling, like, stuff out, like, he was like, one thing I would never do is have an all-boys alliance.
Oh,
He's like, that's why he's like, I was like shocked when like I was like part of the Pretty Boys. He's like, that's literally one thing I said I would never do.
and like sounds like a genuine statement.
Right.
Like,
That's right. And that's why I was like, oh, okay. And that's why I started thinking, he's like, no, like honestly, like I just really want to work with you. Like you seem like a fun guy. And I was like, oh.
love that.
Right? I was like, oh, I kind of like you. And like, I
So
think,
maybe yeah.
like I said to say, I think Julie really did get in her head a bit about
Yeah.
being like, don't trust that person. Don't trust this person. You know?
And like I just knew shit was gonna pop off.
Same.
Because of Julie and Beth didn't like each other. Ty felt awkward with Julie.
No,
Jed was
100%.
afraid of Julie.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like she really did like kind of like, that's what I was also worried about. I was like, oh, like all of these people, like you already don't like all these people. And now I think that they think I don't like them by association. You know?
If I were you, maybe what I would do is because I feel pretty like okay with everyone. I would talk to like a Jed and a Ty and just like
That's what I think. That's what I was thinking.
yeah, and then like I'm gonna try to get like tighter with Latoya.
How do you think I should force it though? Like, should I just be like,
I think
we
you
should
should-
work together, or should I be like,
I think you should sit down and be like, when we had the six, and just like I wanted to be candid with you. I'm like, I know everyone thinks that I was super tight, and be like, we were friends.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say we weren't.
But be like, I was weary of where it would take my game being close to her, and that's why I wasn't as affected today as you might have thought I would be. You know?
Didn't talk to Jed first. Ty, I just don't know how to feel. Like Ty just seems like a chill guy. I just never know.
Yeah.
Like the people that I would say that I really have like a hard time talking with, I would say be like Jed and Ty, as well as Tara.
I feel like
I feel like
my
Tara doesn't like
conversation-
me. I don't know what it is.
I feel my conversation doesn't go there with Tara.
They don't or they do?
They don't.
Same. Like it's very just like
It
surface
doesn't get
level.
past like crack a couple jokes, then
Literally,
it doesn't go
that's
anywhere.
it. Like Tina, I feel like you can have a genuine conversation with her, and like she genuinely like with Tara, I feel like she always is just like wanting like surface level stuff, and I feel like with Tina, she's very much like, oh, like I want to get to know you as well. Like
Yeah.
tell me like about this, you know. I don't know what
Yeah,
it is.
I feel like Tara's really working that like
Mom thing, like the
yeah,
100%.
like up the social game because I feel like no matter what, when you're like one of the older people in the house, you're a mom, you're a parent, whatever, I feel like you get that like in your head of like, oh God, like all these like young kids are going to be, you know what I mean? Like I
No,
I
100%.
feel that energy and I'm like,
Are you guys enjoying the accommodation?